Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. Today we have a huge harvest of blackberries. So we are going to make a less sugared blackberry jam. So to get started, we're going to pick some of our blackberries and then we're going to take them inside, wash them up, and get started on our jam. We're going to only take the ones that are really ripe and come off kind of easily. These ones still have a little bit of red to them, so we're going to let those stay on the vine for a little bit longer. Last year we pruned all of these blackberries together and I pruned them quite heavily. I was actually a little worried that they weren't going to bounce back the way they usually do, but you can see I've got more berries than ever this year. Now we're just going to give these berries a nice rinse. You want to make sure that all the stems are off of your berries. Now they're all set to go. The original recipe calls for 9 cups of blackberries and 6 cups of sugar. I am going to cut that sugar content in half. So I'll be working with 9 cups of blackberries and 3 cups of sugar. I do have some raw organic honey that I'm going to add just a little bit to our final mixture. The other add-in that I have is lemon. So it's a nice juicy lemon. I've got 2 pieces here, so 1 whole lemon. I'm gonna add that in. It just brightens the flavor for me, and I love lemon. So that's just something I'm adding to my recipe. The original does not call for that. So I have my 6 cups of fruit here. I add that in. I found one with a stem. Sometimes they get away from you. There we go. So I'm gonna use a potato masher really quick, and we're just gonna smash up some of this fruit. You could do this other ways. If you want to put it in a blender really quick, you can do that too. So I just get it started like that. And then I'm going to add my 3 cups of sugar. We're going to continue mushing it up here. This is a really simple recipe and it comes from the Ball Preserving Cookbook. I'll show you right here. It is the Blue Book, Guide to Preserving. So you can find this recipe on page 49 and you can interchange any fruit that you like in this recipe. So makes great for blueberry jelly, or if you have any other kinds of fruit that you're trying to use up, maybe even raspberries, it works for all of them. So like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of lemon juice to my mixture, and we're gonna finish incorporating everything here, and then we're gonna get it on the stove. Now, a lot of these berries are gonna break down even more under the heat. So I like to do this in one pot. This is the pot that I'm gonna cook it in. That way I am not dirtying everything in my kitchen. So let's bring this over to the stove. We're gonna get that started. Perfect. And over here I have my water bath canner. I got this canner at Menards. It was relatively inexpensive. And you can see I've got water in here and it is almost boiling. I also have all of my jars ready. They were just washed and sterilized. I am going to put them into the water bath canner just to keep them nice and hot. This recipe makes 6 half pint jars. So today we are working with these, and I'm just gonna put them right in so that they get nice and warm. We want to make sure that we're working with the same temperature on all of these ingredients here. So we're boiling our blackberries to get them up to temperature, and then we want our glasses to be the same temperature when we put the contents inside of them. That is so that they don't break, because you can definitely get thermal shock going from hot to cold. And plus, everything that's hot is sterilized, so that works really well. So those are in there now, and we're gonna let that sit while we work on this. You can see some of them still have some texture to them. I don't like to use the blender because I don't want everything to be just a straight puree. My family likes a little bit of texture in the jam, so this is the way we do it, but you can feel free to make it as smooth as you like. In fact, some people prefer to take their blackberries, and after they have pureed them, they put them through a sieve. So they take out all of the seeds. We love the seeds in our jams, so we don't go through that process, and I'm actually thankful because it takes a lot longer. If you do want to do that, you can get just a simple metal sieve. I will show you. This would be a good one right here, this bigger sized one. And you can put a piece of cheesecloth over the top, and then you just let that sit for about 2 hours, and it'll strain out all of your seeds. The liquid will go to the bottom of your dish. So that is how you make seedless jam, if that's what you prefer. I'm going to teach you a quick little tip here. So just because your stove is on high doesn't mean that you're going to get the most heat out of your stove. If the flames are coming up over the edge of your pot, that means it's not heating it directly underneath, and you're actually losing a lot of that heat. Like, I can feel the heat over here instead of over your pot. So if you're working with something that is a little smaller, just make sure that you have the heat on only as high as the flame stays under your pan. That way you are concentrating your heat just on the thing you are trying to cook. At this point in time, I'm just going to add a little squirt of my honey. Not very much, just a little bit. And also, you might be wondering when I'm adding the pectin. Well, guess what? I'm not. Blackberries actually have their own pectin in them. And they're one of the things that we don't need to use additional pectin for. Pectin is something inside the fruit that kind of solidifies it and makes it more of a jelly or a jam instead of a liquid. But blackberries, if you heat them up well and get them to a boil at some point, they'll release their own, and it's just part of the process. So it makes it really easy to make blackberry jam. And in this recipe, we are not adding any pectin, so bonus points for us. It's a lot quicker and a lot easier. Okay, we are getting very, very close. You can see there's some foam on top, but it is a very liquidy mixture at the moment, and I'm going to show you guys a test to see if we are ready. Well, I have put a plate in the freezer. I want to make sure it's glass, and I'm going to use this to test to see if our jam is ready. So you can see we're at the boiling point here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit now, and we're going to take our plate that is frozen, and we're just going to take some of the liquid and kind of drop it on, just like this. And we're just going to let it set up a little bit and see how liquidy or thick it is. At this point, I think it's still too liquidy. Tastes great though. Now I put the plate back in the freezer, let it get cold again, and I'm just gonna stay over here and babysit this. We don't want it to spill over. It'll make a really, really big mess if that boils over the top. And so we're just gonna sit here and let some of it evaporate off and let those pectins kick in. You can see how much steam is coming out. I'm not leaving because I don't want it to burn on the bottom. I'm just constantly moving it. But all that steam coming out is water evaporation, and that is going to help us get a thicker consistency on our jam. Okay, I'm pretty confident we are ready now. But here is our plate trick one more time. And you can see how it is starting to coat the plate, which is exactly what we're looking for. And it's not quite so liquidy, it's not dripping down. So that is perfect. We are ready to go. All right, we have our 6 jars here hot and ready to load. So I'm just gonna fill our jars, leaving 1/4 inch headspace. In traditional canning methods, you can debubble your glasses. With this particular recipe, blackberries are very thick. I don't have any bubbles in my jars. But if I was working with something like salsa or anything else, really, apple pie filling, I would definitely take my debubbler in and just make sure that we get all the bubbles out and then fill up to the appropriate headspace. But like I said, for this, it's pretty straightforward. All we're gonna do now is wipe down each rim with some vinegar on a little dishcloth. Now, this process just ensures that nothing sticky gets in the way when we are putting the lid on top of our jars, and we don't want to create a false seal. You just want to make sure that you are careful not to touch the sides of your jars too much because they are still very, very hot. So I'll show you in a second. This is what comes off, and it comes off so easily with the vinegar. Cuts right through. So now we're going to take our lids, and you want to do just fingertip tight. It is hot, so be careful. Okay, so into the water bath can they go. Just like that. Okay, so we want this to come up to a rolling boil. And the second it does, we're gonna put 15 minutes on our timer, and that is how long these need to water bath can. Okay, so that rolling boil is what we are looking for, and you can see that is happening. So now our 15-minute timer goes on, and then we allow it to sit for 5 minutes, I should say. So 15 minutes under a rolling boil, and then 5 minutes after we've stopped the water bath canner, and then we'll take them out and put them on a tray. Okay, well, there we are. They are all done and they're already starting to pop. The lids, you can hear them go ping. And they look absolutely beautiful. You can see the seeds in there. I think the seeds are so pretty. Just reminds me of my childhood. But this was an awesome project, and you see how quickly it came together. Water bath canning is not hard. Don't let it intimidate you. It is something you absolutely can learn to do. I didn't grow up learning any of this stuff. I am all self-taught, and now I get to teach my kids. So I think it's a great skill to have, and definitely something that is useful in life. It is something that is a gift to be able to give to the next generation. So that is what I am doing, and I'm hoping that I give this gift to you as well. I hope you feel inspired to try one of these. It's absolutely delicious when you open up a fresh jar of jam that you made yourself one beautiful fall morning when all of your garden has wilted away and we're sitting there dreaming of our new gardens. You will be so appreciative of yourself that you decided to embark on such an awesome skill set and learn what you can. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. But wait, before you go, check out some of my other videos. I have lots of canning, gardening, and cooking videos. I love to throw a good party, so check out some of these, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.